Hello students, today we will start the first chapter, How, When and Where from the history book Our Past, Part 1. But before we begin, let us recall what we learnt in class 6 and 7. In the previous classes, we have studied the history of ancient and medieval periods. In class 6, we studied about early men who lived as hunter-gatherers, then started a settled life, about different civilizations that came up around the world like the Harappan civilization, how kingdoms were formed and empires were built. We also learnt about different rulers like Ashok, Harshvardhan, Chandragupta Maurya and many more. In class 6, we discussed about the history of ancient India and the ancient civilizations of the subcontinent from the prehistoric period to the 7th century AD, while in the 7th class, we studied the history of the medieval period. During this period, India saw many remarkable changes in the political, economic, social and cultural life of the people. We also studied about different dynasties in India like the Delhi Sultans, the Mughals, and now in class 8, we shall study the history of modern India. The modern period began in the 18th century and is characterized by industrialization, urbanization, colonization, scientific progress, rationalism and humanism. But before we move forward, let us understand the meaning and nature of history. In simple terms, history is a study of past events. That is, it is the story of the people who lived in the past. In fact, history is a record of people, places and events of the past arranged in a chronological order. So, chronology is the science of arranging events in their order of occurrence in time. And chronological order is listing, describing or discussing when events happen as they relate to time, as how they happen one after the other in a very systematic manner. It tells us the story of our ancestors and their lifestyles, occupations, customs, languages and cultures, religious beliefs, social and political systems, as well as their problems, aspirations and achievements. Of course, history is about changes that occur over time. It is about how things were in the past and how things have changed with time. As soon as we compare the past with the present, we refer to time. We talk of before and after. So now the importance of history. The study of history is very important for us. Most branches of social science other than history tell us about the world in the present, but history helps us to understand how this present evolved. It tells us about the past of the present. With the help of history, we are able to know about the art, architecture, literature, customs, religions, etc. So it is helpful in gaining knowledge of the continuous development of human culture and civilization, as to what we were and to what we have become. So, this whole journey we study in history. It helps us to learn from our past experiences and mold our future in a better way. So, it helps us to learn all the good or the bad experiences. We learn from our past and then we try to shape our future in a better way. So, this is how history helps us. The study of history helps us to understand the basic nature of our society. With the help of various examples, it cautions people from social and political evils like casteism, racialism, illiteracy, selfishness, etc., and promotes the spirit of tolerance, coexistence, nationalism, and universal brotherhood. So now you will think as to why dates are important in history. Because whenever we talk about history, it is a common notion that history is synonymous with dates. So why are dates important? Dates are important in the study of history as they help us to understand events in a chronological order, like how things happened one after the other. But the usage of time period is considered to be more helpful than dates. It is difficult to assign dates to social, political, and cultural changes that occurred during a particular period. Sometimes it is actually incorrect to fix precise dates to processes that happen over a period of time. People in India did not begin drinking tea one fine day. They developed a taste for it over time. There can be no one clear date for a process such as this. Similarly, we cannot fix one single date on which British rule was established or the national movement started or changes took place within the economy and society. All these things happened over a stretch of time. So we can only refer to a span of time. So therefore a span of time is used to describe such changes. And dates become important in history because what is done on those dates is of importance. Dates in history are like the skeletal system without which the body would be shapeless. A collection of historical facts would be one meaningless heap unless the events were arranged in the sequence of their dates of occurrence. Dates of events act somewhat like milestones. They indicate an event's position in relation to other events in history. This helps us understand the trends of development within a time frame. And dates or events, they sometimes act as landmark because of their long-term impact. For example, year 1526 is a landmark in Indian history not only because this is when the first battle of Panipat was fought, more importantly it marks the end of the Delhi Sultanate and the beginning of the Mughal Empire in India, and the revolt of 1857 that marks the first battle for independence of India from the British rule. Now, which dates to choose? So the dates we select, the dates around which we compose our story of the past, are not important on their own. Dates are important as they note when certain events happened, like the year a king was crowned, the year he married, the year he had a child, the year he fought a particular war, the year he died, and the year the next ruler succeeded to the throne. This is very important because history is recorded chronologically, one after the other according to time period. So it helps to know that one event happened before another event so that one can examine the relationship between the events. Dates also serve to mark periods in history. So we periodize history to make it easier for us to study, like the ancient period, the medieval period, or the Mughal period, the British period, or the modern period. Like that we have to periodize history. Different historians have done it in their own manner to make it easy for us to understand. So for today we'll study till here. My request is please read the chapter thoroughly once or twice. This will help you to understand the video better. And in the next video I'll be teaching you about how do we periodize, then how do we know about history, the different sources of history, surveys, what are official records. So by the time, please read the chapter. Thank you, children.